Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, August 13th, 2016, it was reported that the actor who played the part of R2D2 in the Star Wars films died at age 81. And where we're going to begin is with his age of death, 81. He died on a specific date in regards to the Star Wars franchise. He died at age 81, exactly 81 days after the anniversary of the first Star Wars film, which was May 25th, 1977. His birth name is Kenneth. Kenneth in Gematria sums to 77. Star of the film released in 77. I want to show you what's so significant about 81, but before we get there, let me explain to you the greater significance of the date he died on. He died on the 13th of August, a date that can be written 13/8. If you write out R2D2 as a word in Gematria, it sums to 138. 2 months ago, June 13th, another small actor who played the part of Alf died by the numbers in relation to his character Alf. I have a video on that. We'll review it quickly at the end of this video. Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, is very important to the people who run Hollywood, the media, our government. They are the Freemasons. They are the Zionist Jews. This language of words into numbers is paramount to them. Star Wars in Gematria sums to 119. Very special number. All seeing eye equals 119. Star of David equals 119. Think about how this was used as a missile defense program that billions of dollars were spent on by the U.S. government to protect us from enemy missiles, including nuclear threats. This actor here, headline R2D2 actor dies. In Gematria, that sums to 116, very similar to 119. Words such as powerful and country have Gematria of 116. So does the day Thursday. I remember when the trailer came out for the newest Star Wars film, it was a big deal. It was a Thursday. 116, 119, similar numbers. The day he died yesterday was the beginning of the 9th of Av. In the Jewish faith, they call it Tisha B'Av, Gematria of 911, 911. This is to remember the destruction of the two temples of Jerusalem for the Jewish faith. And I want you to think about September 11th, the destruction of the two towers, a day of tragedy, a day of sadness, a date that we were told Mossad agents from Israel were over here documenting the attack and they were sent back to Israel. Think about it, people. That means people knew that September 11th was going to happen. It was planned. People in Israel, how come we didn't go to war with them? How come we're at war with their enemies when they're the ones that had the foreknowledge? We're attacking countries that had nothing to do with 9/11. Because it's all part of a grand mocking, a grand agenda. If you learn about the Jewish people, you learn that many of them see non-Jews as goy, which is a derogatory term for somebody who's not Jewish. On July 4th, the word Jewish equals 74, Masonic equals 74, holiday 74, Independence Day. This year on July 4th, on the planet of Jupiter, supposedly the Juno probe arrived. And all day the Google Doodle was G-O with a rotating thing, where every time it did a full rotation, it made a Y, G-O-Y. The word goy, derogatory term for somebody not Jewish, Jupiter mission. We're being mocked all over, and people don't see the mocking. People don't understand what they live in. People worship these things such as Star Wars, which are put on by this gang, mocking us all about the good versus evil. Anytime you go spend your money at the theater, you're giving your money to the evil people. The evil people are the Zionist Jews who run Hollywood, who run your government, who run your media, who tell you to hate everybody except for Jewish people. It's okay to hate every group. It's okay. We're gonna support that on the TV, but never say anything about a Jewish person. That's anti-Semitic. You know why your media is that way? You know why your brain has been programmed that way and why 90% of the people in this country are that way? Because all they do is follow what comes through the TV, through the screen. I noticed all the kids worship this Star Wars thing when I was a child. Kids before me worship Star Wars. Kids today still worship Star Wars. I was never that crazy about Star Wars. Just another movie, just another waste of your time. Anytime you're watching movies, you're letting your own life pass by, if you never noticed that. Seems most people don't mind. But I never really liked it much as a kid. Never really got into these movies. Always wanted to do my own thing. And I wish more people were like that. because I watched more and more kids as I grew up become more and more lazy sitting in front of TV screens, watching movies, playing video games. R2D2, this character in Jewish gematria, sums to 84. Very symbolic number in this nation. United States of America equals 84. The Twilight Zone equals 84. Revolutionary War equals 84. States equals 84. Obama equals 84. He's born on 84. Read the book 1984 about a futuristic nation ruled over by screens. George Lucas credited with the Star Wars franchise, that name in gematria 113, very special number to the Jewish people. Think about how many movies have 113 coded into them. A lot of people know this. Bava Kama 113a says it's okay for Jewish people to lie to people who aren't Jewish. Goy. Mainstream equals 113. Dishonest 113. Green screen 113. George Lucas, the master of the green screen. Scottish as in Scottish Rite Freemasonry 113. Something else I noticed about the letters R2D2, if you just take the letters R and D, R is the 18th letter, D is the 4th. Add it together, 22, and you're left with 2 and 2. 22 is the master builder number. I know that R2D2 is like a repair bot, you know? A little master builder himself. So here's Kenny Baker, dead at age 81, 81 days after the release of Star Wars. Dead just 11 days before his own birthday. He would have turned 82. Tisha B'Av, where we started in Jewish gematria, sums to 911. In simple English gematria, it sums to 82. He's died 11 days before his 82nd birthday. 911 in numerology, 9 plus 1 plus 1 becomes 11. The World Trade Centers were giant 11s in the New York City skyline. New York's the 11th state. The first plane to hit one of the buildings was supposedly Flight 11, plus a whole lot more. So from 81 days from the anniversary of the first Star Wars film to his death at age 81, the reason that's significant is because gold in Jewish gematria sums to 81. And what do the Jewish people who run the world worship? They worship gold. It's all about gold worship. It's all about why there's no audits at Fort Knox. It's because there's no gold there anymore. The Jewish banker tyrants stole all the gold out of this nation. They have it all, and what we have going on in this nation is a Ponzi scheme that runs on distraction, our willingness to buy into it, and that's it. You know, people just go to work, pay their taxes, keep paying into this empty system that runs on nothing but hot air. That's really what's going on in this world. You know, they give us all these headlines each day to keep us buying into the lies. There's no way the economy should still be going. There's no way the Dow can be at record limits. There's just no way. Wages are down, hours are down. The only people doing better are corporate investors. We live in a giant Ponzi scheme lie. The word lie has the same gematria as God, both three-letter words. The people who rule this world rule over us with lies. You can control people with lies. Here's some other connections to gold and death. They say this actor was 3'8". 3'8", that's 44 inches. Kill equals 44. Death equals 38. Kind of like 3'8". So does Jew, so does gold. Jewelry. It's no coincidence these people created our language. It's all in your face. It all is based on you not seeing what is in your face. That's how our whole society works. Getting the truth slammed in your face and expecting you not to see it. And even better than that, when somebody tells you what the truth is, you're expected to denounce that and insult that person. The last Star Wars film, it released December 18th, 2015 at 8 with 38 numerology. Gold, death, money, Star Wars, major money, movies, clothes, merchandise, all sorts of stuff. His birth name, Kenneth George Baker. Interesting name in gematria. The 99 stands out, the number that connects to 13, big boss number in this nation, 13 colonies, 13 stripes on the flag, 13 years of public school programming. Kenny Baker also has gematria prophecy. A lot of things are done according to the prophecy code. Kenneth, of course, sums to 77, like the year the Star Wars franchise came out. The word theater sums to 77. The American meridian's on the 77th meridian. Lincoln was once assassinated in a theater by an actor. Fitting year for a monster theater franchise to come out. 77 Star Wars. they said that his carekeeper, is that the right terminology? The person taking care of him and his family was his niece with the last name Shield. And what I noticed about the name Shield is it has gematria 57 and 30, like the day he died. I think that also factors in. I think in a lot of these instances, there's ritual sacrifice within the family because there's so much greed. People fighting over wealth, inheritance, you know. This man wasn't healthy for a while, so they might have just been waiting for the right day to pull the plug by the numbers. I think that's very likely. His death made me think of C-3PO. I wanted to see what was up with C-3PO. That actor was Anthony Daniels. I noticed that from this man's date of death to Anthony Daniels' upcoming birthday is 193 days, which is the 44th prime number. Again, the word kill equals 44. His partner was 44 inches. A lot of times in these ritual sacrifices, they'll murder somebody else too in a related date that has a relationship, such as R2D2 and C-3PO. Earlier this year, I predicted that Prince would die in the wake of Vanity's death. He ended up dying by the numbers that I talked about in that video that I was concerned about. I talked exactly about 67 after why he might die. He died 67 days after Vanity. Blood sacrifice equals 67. The actor who played Elf had the 67 connections earlier this year as well. So if I was this man, I would be looking out. I wouldn't be taking any drinks from anybody I don't know. All it takes to kill one of us is a little bit of arsenic in a drink. So how a lot of people pass in this world. Drinking something with something in it that is fatal. Arsenic, the 33rd element on the periodic table. Arsenic equals 33, has an atomic weight of 74, been used to kill people since the beginning of time. This man, his death, Kenny Baker, he also died 239 days after the release of the latest Star Wars film. This year, the flag is 239 years old. The flag was sewn at 239 Arch Street in Philadelphia. I'm talking about the U.S. flag. The United States of America was just 239 years old. The country just turned 240 on July 4th. Special number to the Jewish people. Torah equals 239. Their Messiah is supposed to arrive through the Golden Gate. Golden Gate 239. And again, 77 also connects back to Judaism as well. The United States of America, a Jewish nation. That's why Washington, D.C. is on the 77th meridian, something that was decided after it was made the capital. Everything in this world has been done by this gang of Masons and Zionists by the numbers. Language, coordinates, built this world the way they wanted it. So I just want to look at this holiday, that he died on. See the simple English gematria of 82, Pythagorean gematria of 28. Israel, where Jerusalem is, this holiday is remembering the destruction of the temples. The World War started on this date. The World War was about establishing the Zionist nation of Israel. The word Armageddon also has gematria of 82. Armageddon very much factors into this narrative of all the tragedy on this date. The holiday in Jewish gematria sums to 911, which is the 156th prime number. When you write false flag, it equals 156. When you write 33, it sums to 156. The World Trade Centers on 911 existed for 33 years. The construction firm that built them, Magnuson Klemenkic Associates, their name in gematria, 156. That means that those buildings were built with their planned destruction on 9/11 by the numbers. This gang works decades, half centuries ahead of where we are. They have things scripted out. They're executing it day by day. False flag in Pythagorean gematria is also 33. Again, day of tragedy, 9/11, World Trade Center buildings. The holiday is an annual fast day in Judaism which commemorates the anniversary of a number of disasters in Jewish history, primarily the destruction of both the first temple by the Babylonians and the second temple by the Romans in Jerusalem. Jerusalem 104, USA right in the middle. Date of establishment for the USA, 104 numerology. The USA was established as part of this ongoing agenda to bring about the Zionist state. We are a military might in the New World Order agenda that was about bringing about Israel and is now about expanding Israel and its influence. 9th of Av, as we call it also, has gematria 46, like sacrifice. This man very well might have been a sacrifice for the date. In fact, I would say he certainly was. We also have major flooding in Baton Rouge this day. People in this world, they don't know what they live under. For more than a century, the U.S. military has researched advanced weather warfare. If you don't think they've figured out how to manipulate the weather in drastic ways, you're sleeping. These people have had a hand in creating Katrina and many other natural disasters, including Hurricane Sandy. This stuff is happening. It's not fiction. If you deny it, you are sleeping. Baton Rouge likely targeted for flooding disaster over these days of tragedy, which was yesterday and into today until sunrise. Today's date numerology: 58 like Freemasonry, 38 like Jew, like gold, like death. In regards to this Jewish holy day, I'll just read this part right here. In punishment for their lack of faith, God declared that the generation that left Egypt would not inherit the land, and decreed a 40-year journey in the desert until the last male of the generation had died out. Furthermore, in the Midrashic literature, in response to the Israelites' needless weeping, God announces that the 9th of Av will henceforth be a day of sadness, misfortune, and tragedy for all generations. So this has to do with biblical prophecy. When you think about 40, you probably think about 40 days, 40 nights, the flood. United States equals 40, and this is a nation that was made out of the book of prophecy. The 9th of Av comes in this month of the Jewish calendar, having gematria of 40 as well. How fitting. In simple English gematria, it sums to 85. It makes me think about the Olympic Summer Games, which began in this month in the Jewish calendar. Will we get a false flag tragedy there 44 years after the Munich Games, where the Israeli athletes were targeted? Another story by the numbers, full of these same numbers, 9 and 11. Just so you know, the 9th of Av floats. It doesn't always fall on the same dates. 2 years ago, it was on Obama's birthday. James Brady, who supposedly saved Reagan, was killed on that day. August 13th, interestingly enough, also has gematria of 216 in Kabbalah. This is a number connected to the name of God. Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism that's all about gematria, numerology, numbers into words. And just to review, the Star of Elf died 2 months ago, also on the 13th day of the month. The day he died was a date with 19 numerology. Elf equaled 19. The start date and end date of Elf were both dates with 136 numerology, and he died June 13th, a date that can be written 13/6. He died with a date connecting to the character he played, Elf, and also with a date corresponding to the beginning and end of the show, which he was with. They say he was 33 inches tall. I never measured him, so I don't know, but I know how much this gang loves that number. His name in gematria summed to 67, like blood sacrifice. He died 99 days before his birthday. And again, 99 connects to 13, 67, 76, 6 plus 7, 7 plus 6. These numbers break down to 13. Always important numbers. We were just talking about them. He also died 38 weeks after his last birthday, again connecting to death. What are the odds? 2 very short men on the 13th, dates connected to their Hollywood roles, you know? So, that's what it is, Truth Seeker. RIP to this man. If you ever get invited to work for this gang, make movies, make records, just say no. Until next time, Truth Seeker.